There we are. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Afternoon or good morning, especially with the person I am speaking to today. So, my name is Elise Beckles. I'm the founder here at the French Tutor, where we teach French students how to get deeper and better in their French reading comprehension. And I also help other education business owners grow their businesses and excel and scale and live their vision. And today I'm connecting with one of my colleagues, a fellow entrepreneur. I will allow her to introduce herself, but we're going to get into a really juicy topic, a really interesting one that I know that a lot of our other business owners or people who are curious into how to make their businesses that they have started or want to start flow better. And I will let her take the mic and let the people know who's joining me today.
Aloha, my name is Stacia Kennedy, and I am an online marketing coach. I have over 15 years of experience helping entrepreneurs, and particularly in the real estate space and local businesses, leveraging technology to grow their business. And I've been fortunate to work with people from all different types of industries. Again, like I said, starting off with real estate and agents and developers, but my first mentor actually happened to also be a multimillionaire who was a motivational speaker. So I also work with
Oh,
coaches. And that's how I also got in the personal development space as well too.
right on. So that's fantastic. I'm so excited to have you here. I know I was telling you my love for having visited the place that you live, where I vacation you live. So I'm very excited for you to take your time in your morning just for a couple minutes to chat with us. So, Stacia, let's jump right in. Tell me, what would you say has been or what's a defining moment in your entire journey as an entrepreneur that completely changed the way you think about business?
And that's such a great question. There's so many different defining moments, and we always have these ups and downs. But I think as the moment that you just asked me that, I was going to have a different answer. But actually, I want to share with you that years ago, you could probably do the math, but when I used to be a single mom, and at the time, I was like, I didn't think that I could ever get out of the rat race and that I would always just be like working 9 to 5, literally like I used to actually live in Seattle for a long time. So it was always dark and gloomy. And I have to like
Mhm.
wake up super early and take my son to before school care. He would go to school and then after school care. And so literally like I missed his whole childhood because I was always working.
Yeah.
And that's like I wanted to share that as being the defining moment because that was the push or the why I wanted to find something different that could make it so that I can work from home. And now it's like the new norm working from home. It's
Who would have thought,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, that's actually pretty powerful because sometimes it does take that moment of hold on. Like you had to almost reflect that exact moment. I'm missing my child's entire life. So
Right.
that's pretty powerful, and that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that as
Yes.
well. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, and if you could go back, okay, even to that time, or maybe yeah, that time would be your pre-entrepreneurial self. What would you say to that, Stacia?
There is something different out there for you. It's funny because we don't we when a lot of when we grow up you're programmed with a certain way life should be like.
Mm-hmm.
So having I'm out pretty I would say I'm pretty was pretty much an open mind for a long time, but um you also it's your environment as well too. You unfortunately you can't choose your parents sometimes, and those are the people you spend time with the most for the beginning of your
Yeah.
year. But I guess I would say to her to do more, getting outside of your box and connecting with people. I think I've met all of my bestest friends in business through networking, going to business networking events and getting outside of my box. And that's how I've grown my network to where it is right now. So some of my best friends and my husband, actually, I met him through networking.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing. That's incredible. I love that part for sure. And I mean, tell us a little bit more because I know we're wanting to zero in on the importance of systems in business. Tell me a little bit more about what exactly it is that you do
Mhm.
and how it does help businesses because it's not just for you, it's for other people
Right.
to thrive as well. Yeah, so I'd love to hear more.
Thanks. That's a great question. It's funny because a lot of the people, when you're in this industry as an entrepreneur, most people are like, well, I don't know what she does. And people right now, some of my friends here watching right now probably like, I still don't know what she does. But what I like to say is that I help people. I actually realized there's a new term that I actually learned over the last couple years, and that really defines who I am, is an integrator, a systems integrator. And what that means is there's a book out there called like EOS Traction, for some of those who are interested in checking out that book. But basically, they talk about there's going to be a visionary in a business, and then there's the integrator, and that would be me. Basically, I work with a ton of visionaries that like have big ideas that want to impact the world, but they don't know how to put that into systems and create a funnel and create their CRM so that they can capture the leads and have a simple system that's working for them to be able to make those dreams and goals happen. So I'm the integrator that does that part.
Incredible. And for those who are looking at this, and sometimes I know systems is a term people are hearing more and more, how would you define that for the person who maybe is just getting their feet wet or in it but don't have systems set up? What is that? What does that mean?
So originally, when you asked me like a defining moment, recently over the last 4 or 5 years, I came across a platform called Go High Level. And the platform is an all-in-one system to help you capture leads and organize your pipeline for your sales. You could also build out an entire like sales funnel. So basically a landing page or a website that you can, share with people to sell your product or your services, and it's all in one place. So before I used to have to in order to make these things happen for people, I would take several different softwares, like 10 different ones, and then I would put them all together so that they would talk to each other to make it all work. But then you have to log in and out of all kinds of different platforms and trying to organize it. It's a mess. So when I came across this platform, I figured out a way to make it so that literally my visionaries, they don't have to worry about that. They just show up. They don't have to worry about where the leads are going and how do I get paid and this and that. So yeah, I would say like the system is the process so that a business owner literally could, you know, leave and just focus on what they're really good at. The system's already in place to take payments and send out an email, and you don't have to think about it.
And that is just comforts me. I use Go High Level as well. And I remember that feeling of ease because sometimes as a business owner, the admin or what can feel like the tedious tasks can be more the repellent. You're like, you know what? I'm just not gonna do it. But these are important pieces. People have to have certain automations, or you don't have to be in the business 24 hours a day because
Right.
a system is happening on your behalf. So that
Exactly.
is a game changer, I would say.
Yeah. Exactly. We're all human. So,
Yes.
having, and as you all know, fortune's in the follow-up. So if you had a system in place to, basically send it out automatically so that it's basically working as what our mentor likes to say is your second brain. So
Yeah,
yeah, your first brain and the second brain's working for me because I'm getting
that's
older.
it.
I will forget.
Not gonna go at speed 1000 forever. We're not meant to. We're not meant to. I'll say that for
Exactly.
sure. Okay, so thank you. You shared a lot about your family, or you touched a little bit on the family life. And I want to hear from you what or how would you say your personal growth has been influenced by your business growth? And how do you nurture both? How do you still be you, mom, wife, and systems guru? Okay,
Yeah,
changing businesses everywhere. Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
thanks. It's definitely a balance, and some people will be shocked because I don't talk about him much, but I actually have a 23-year-old. So, and that's
Okay.
who I was talking about earlier when I was a single mom. It was just me and him for many, many years. So, and actually, I don't know. Sometimes I shock myself. I'm like, wow, he'll give me a call and he'd be like, Mom, I'm, doing thinking about this in a way about his business too, because he's actually a video editor for a esports team. And
That's amazing.
yeah, he was like, I don't know if this project is going to be, connected to his values. And I was like, what? You like, that's
Who
just
is this
not,
kid, right?
I'm like, wow, I'm actually impacting you with the, like what
Yeah,
23-year-olds talking about their values. And yeah, so it's a
seriously.
lot of fun. So I guess, but to answer your question about balance, is just nobody writes the book on being parents and having relationships, but you just do your best as you can and work on the things that having those reflections every week. Going back and seeing how can I improve on things, or how do you want them to be improved. There's an exercise that one of my millionaire mentor would share with me, and we would do it like every quarter. But you basically take a pie chart and you put in, the different areas of your life, business and, health, wealth, and relationships, and where you would rate yourself on what level you are. Of course, it's going to be pretty lopsided, but when you can take that visualization and reflect on those things and seeing, okay, where can I you see this lopsided side of the pie, where do I want my life to be, and visualize that process of how is it going to go from a 5 to an 8. What can you do in this next quarter to focus on to improve. I'm always constantly improving. I think that's what I love about, just constantly learning and improving. But if you don't have that awareness, you won't, be able to make any changes. And if you're not changing, you're not growing. So
Yeah, yeah, you might as well not. Yeah, yeah, you might as well just not show up. We want people to show up. And a lot of that, I think, as business owners, it's done. Yeah, our personal lives and business will intertwine, but the hope is both are growing. So the personal is growing and the business is growing as well. I think that's the balance. I think a lot of people are aspiring to and understanding. Yes, sometimes the piece of the pie is lopsided, but that could be temporary. Okay. And don't forget the humans that, yeah, you're responsible for and that the heart is
right.
connected to as well, the person side of things. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what would you say then? I know there's a lot of people sometimes who, and you obviously have had a journey that's worth following, and I encourage everyone to follow Stacia for sure. And a lot of people fear getting into business or taking a chance on themselves because of this big R word, risk, taking a risk. Everyone's running away from that. So, what would you say is a risk that you've taken in your business or on yourself that has paid off in ways that you did not expect?
That's a great question. It's funny because every time there's been a situation in my life or business where you're like, oh, I'm so scared or fearful that you're going to lose this one job or like project, like, oh, I've been getting, maybe like, for instance, you just get kind of comfortable, right? Like, oh, I got this one retainer paying me, this amount, and
Yeah,
I'm about to lose it. What's going to happen? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But literally, it all works out. It always works out. I don't know how many countless times you can ask one of my bestest friends. She's like, "What? How does that happen?" I'm get scared about losing this one contract, and then next thing you know, something else even better shows up, even better and more money. It's just like, what was I afraid of? And it's like, I think it's that pause. It's
That's a
natural.
mindset thing for
Yeah,
sure.
totally
Yeah.
natural to feel that way. And I
Yeah.
guess my advice would be when when you're you have when there's the biggest when you're experiencing the biggest breakdown, that literally means that there's a breakthrough around the corner. Literally. And so usually that's where I take it. So it's like, oh, that's like a trigger. And then you're just like, oh, but something's right around the corner. It's even more exciting.
It could only mean that in a sense, because it
Yeah,
might be, man, flat on your back, you can only look up. I've taken that
exactly.
with me along my journey as well, because sometimes, yeah, it can knock you down some things or some disappointments or even people. Sometimes it just is a feeling of defeat, but it does take that mindset. And it's when it doesn't innate for everyone, but you adapt it and you are around people who have it. So it rubs off on you as well that something bigger. That setback is just, it's something greater's on the way.
Yeah.
I
Like
resonate with that. Yeah.
I was walking back from dropping my daughter from at school this morning. She's 8. So I have a big gap between these two, but
Hmm. She's beautiful, by the way.
thank you. And one of the words that came to my mind, there's a lot of these new millennial, I'm a millennial, but new words,
Same.
delulu, right? Delusional. Like I thought to myself, like, that is what I am. You have to be delusional enough to believe. And that's part of this whole entrepreneurial game is always about how much you believe in yourself and the goals that you want to accomplish. It's already happening, but be delusional enough, be delulu, like you really have to be. He's a colleague of mine. He's probably a potential prospect. He saw one of my posts yesterday about how I helped one of my clients generate over 92,000 in a month through a 5-day challenge. And I hadn't heard from him in years. And he messaged me like, "Oh, how's that
Ah,
going?" And
he was still paying attention,
yeah,
clearly.
right. And so what was interesting that is through our little chat afterwards, he was like, "Yeah, I really applaud you for being so consistent over the years, you know?"
Mm.
So, I mean, that was, I was happy to hear that because it's like sometimes you're just like, "Oh, no, why am I doing this?" But it
Yeah,
is.
is anyone listening? Yeah.
Right, right, yeah.
Just human of us as well,
Yeah.
right?
So they appreciate the hustle, and we keep it's totally about consistency. And it's so funny because some people will say, "Yeah, well, she's so consistent," but sometimes on the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't do enough.
Yes. And that's the business mind in you.
Yeah,
You can't take it out of you. No,
yeah,
that's good. Thank you for sharing that. So that is wrapping up our chat. I was going to ask you one piece of advice, but I feel like you gave it in the be delulu and the consistency. That was
yeah,
the feedback. That was the takeaway that I'm taking away for sure, just to remind myself and let everyone know. I'm going to hopefully be able to link it under this live, but let everyone know where the best place is to find you if they wanted to connect.
yeah. You can go to staciakennedy.com or find me on Facebook too. Well, yeah, I would say like the last, like more, not really mindset, I guess more of a systems thing. We make it a lot more
Mm-hmm.
complicated than it needs to be. So as far as automation and the technical stuff, I think it's mainly more having patience too, because I think a lot of times I work with people and the anxiety of setting these things up really overtake
Yeah.
people. And I think that's what a lot of my clients say to me, that they love just how patient I am with them, and either just doing it for them or helping them understand why they need certain systems in place so that they understand how their business works. So, but yeah, if anyone's interested in learning more or connecting with me, they can go to staciakennedy.com.
Perfect.
Thanks for
Appreciate your
having me.
time, Stacia. Thank you for joining us once again, and thank you for everyone who is sending us comments and looking to connect. Happy to have you, and looking forward to sharing with you other incredible entrepreneurs in the coming weeks and highlighting their amazing work that they're doing. Thank you so much.